I moved to Baldwin Park about 12 years ago. We were looking for a place in the downtown area. We had sold our home in College Park and we were thinking, downtown, somewhere, Winter Park. We were looking at all different areas. But when we started looking in Baldwin Park, it kind of won out. And when we ended up finding this home in Baldwin Park, we were pretty excited. We fell in love with it. And fortunately, we were able to get the home. Believe it or not, 12 years ago, there were multiple offers and there were multiple offers on this home. So very grateful that we were able to move here and we've just really enjoyed it. So today I wanted to just give you some of the reasons why I love it and maybe some things for you to consider, maybe some pros, if you will, about living in Baldwin Park. I'm Kathy Williams with Team Williams Compass in Orlando, your relocation experts, and stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to give you some of the pros about living in Baldwin Park at first, but at the end I'm going to give you the cons about living in Baldwin Park, so stick around for that. The first thing I'd like to do is just kind of go through and give you a bullet point of some of the reasons why living in Baldwin Park is just so awesome. So number one, I would say, is the location. Where Baldwin Park is located is just right in the middle of everything. So for a realtor, for me, it's actually really fabulous because I can be in Lake Mary in 25 minutes. I can be in Lake Nona in 25 minutes, or Dr. Phillips in 25 minutes. I can be in Winter Garden in 25 to 30 minutes. Oviedo in 25. I mean, it's just right in the middle. So it's a great location. Of course, I can be downtown in 10 minutes. Winter Park is 5 to 10 minutes away. A lot of location benefits for sure about living in Baldwin Park. So the second thing that I really love about Baldwin Park is how active the community is. So whenever you go outside and go to your mailbox or walk to the downtown area, there's always people out. There's people walking their dogs. There's people just walking. You always see people. You never feel like you're out alone and there's nobody out there. Well, except maybe 1 o'clock in the morning or something, but it's a very thriving community and our neighbors are super friendly. I don't think I've ever lived outside of College Park. We've lived in several neighborhoods, but I feel like Baldwin Park is the most friendly neighborhood I've ever lived in Florida. Our neighbors, we get together on Friday nights and have kind of like a wind down Friday night, hanging out in the courtyard. And it's just really fun. Sometimes it's, 2 or 3 couples, sometimes it's 6 couples, sometimes it's 10. You never know who's going to show up, but it's a really fun way to connect with your friends and neighbors. Another benefit I would say is the parks and the recreational spaces in Baldwin Park and near Baldwin Park. Within Baldwin Park, there are probably at least 3 or 4 really good sized playgrounds for children. We also have 3 huge swimming pool areas and clubhouses within the community. And those you have to have your key access to use them. So that's a really important feature, the security. And we also have just big parks, so big open fields. Sometimes on Sunday, there's guys out there playing soccer or girls out there playing soccer. And, sometimes you see people out doing boot camp workouts. There's a big fountain that's on the other side of Blue Jacket Park, and a lot of people do workouts there. There's actually some outdoor gym equipment that you can use along that. And the walking and biking paths are phenomenal. You can walk from my house, you can walk down to the lake and around the lake and back, and it's about a 5K. So it's a really nice amount. And the walking path from the lake also goes by the downtown area. So if you want to stop and grab a cup of coffee, you can do that too. It's also a bike path that connects to the Katy Way Trail. The Katy Way Trail is a nice bike path that goes through Winter Park and then it connects with the Cross Seminole Trail. You can bike all the way to Oviedo, to Winter Springs. You can literally bike, a good 3 hours if you want, depending on how fast you bike. And also, not to mention, there is 2 YMCAs that are very close to Baldwin Park, and they have, all the YMCA features. A lot of people are into pickleball, and there's a pickleball court right up at the Katy Way Park, which is a bikeable distance from Baldwin Park, which is really nice. There's also one of my favorite things when we had dogs is the dog park. It's a huge dog park that is right on the lake that you can walk around. It's Lake Baldwin. And the park is so nice. It has a bathing station for the dogs. There's also a little trail that goes through the woods, and it's a lakefront, so some of the dogs that like to go swimming, they can go swimming in the lake. It's a really, really nice dog park. There's also a boat launch there where you can launch a small fishing boat, a sailing boat, or paddleboarding, that sort of thing, that you could go out on the lake. So lots of nice outdoor amenities and features. The other thing that I love about Baldwin Park is the Baldwin Park Village Center, and that has all the shopping. It's literally walking distance from most of the homes in Baldwin Park, and there's really top of the line restaurants plus casual restaurants. There's a great salad place. There are places to go for like an evening out to just go have drinks. There's a sushi place, a steak place, a seafood place, a Mexican place, a cheeseburger kind of place. There's a bunch of places, a sports bar, a lot of fun. They have a lot of events in that downtown area. Plus, of course, Publix and CVS are right there. You can walk or ride your bike right to the Publix or the CVS, which I love. I also work out at F45, and it's right up the street at Baldwin Park, which I love. So I just can walk there every morning to work out. It makes life so convenient and easy just to do life. It's so busy. It's nice to have a few things that you can just walk to instead of having to drive, especially in Orlando. That is such a car focused city. It really is. I mean, there's not a lot of public transportation other than buses and things like that really make it to where you have to have a car in Orlando. 5, I guess if we're numbering them, number 5 is the charm of Baldwin Park. I love nature. I love being outside. One of the things I love are plants and birds and all the different beautiful flowering bushes and trees and things that we have in Florida, not to mention the birds and the wildlife. You see them every day in Baldwin Park, and you don't have to take care of them because, well, we live in a townhouse, so we don't have to take care of the landscaping or the yard. I've always wanted to have one of those perfectly landscaped yards, but I didn't want to have to do all the work. So I get to enjoy the perfectly landscaped parks and walkways and everything that they offer in Baldwin Park, and I don't have to do anything except for pay my monthly HOA dues, which, that's something you have to pay. But it is really quite charming and beautiful. The architecture of the homes are all the cute little bungalow style homes, and it's just really cute and charming. I guess you would call it maybe that Charleston style or old Americana style homes. A lot of front porch style homes, and that's where you get that community feel where people come out on their front porches and they talk to each other. So if you're finding this content helpful, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe so you can get more of this type of content in your inbox. So now, as I promised, I'm going to give you some of the disadvantages of Baldwin Park. So here's the thing. Right outside of Baldwin Park, we have our little bubble that we live in Baldwin Park, but right outside of Baldwin Park is Colonial Drive, which is not known for its beauty. It's a commercial district, and it's got everything you need, which is like all the shopping. Your Target is up there, your Ulta, your Starbucks, all the restaurant row and shopping and all that kind of thing is there. But it's not that beautiful. It's Colonial's been around for probably 100 years, so it's an old commercial district without the charm. It's just a 4-lane busy road to connect. But it does have the advantage of you have everything within a 5-minute drive. You can be at any type of shop that you want to shop at, basically is going to be 5 minutes. So there's also a mall that's nearby, and you might think, well, that's a pro, Kathy, but no, actually it's not. We were just laughing and calling, the Fashion Square Mall is kind of like a hellscape, but it's not really that bad, but it's not really that great either. It's just really run down. There's been several people who've bought it and promised that they were going to totally either level it or renovate it, make it this fabulous shopping district. And it has not happened yet. There's a new buyer that just came in recently, and they've promised again to make it a super center with all this great shopping. It's just right now a rundown mall that nobody wants to go to, basically. So, but it's there if you need it, but it's not anything to get excited about. So that's kind of a disadvantage of Baldwin Park. The second disadvantage of Baldwin Park would be it's not a gated community. So if that's important to you to have a gated community, well, it's not Baldwin Park. But I can tell you that as far as safety is concerned, you can check the crime stats online. It's pretty easy to check. It's a very safe area. Like I said, there's people out walking all the time, so you would see there was a lot of crime going on. It's very well maintained, and there's a police security guard that drives around through the area, off-duty sheriff's deputy kind of thing. That's important to you, then yeah, but we don't have a Baldwin Park, doesn't have that, but we do have a lot of one-way streets, and so it's kind of like a maze in here. So if you are driving, trying to quickly cut through Baldwin Park, it's not going to happen, because you have to kind of cut through, go down this one-way street and that one-way street and go down here, and so it's not an easy getaway kind of a neighborhood. The other thing that I would say is a disadvantage to Baldwin Park is we do have a CDD fee. Baldwin Park has a community development district, which for short they call it CDD, and that's added into your taxes. So it's around $1,200 to $1,500 annually that's added into your taxes. So you kind of forget about it because it's in your taxes, but that is a real extra expense. But what that is for is, for example, the sidewalks and the side roads and all the little beautiful perks of Baldwin Park, like the cute street signs and the lamp posts and all the charming things. The city does not maintain that. So Baldwin Park has to collect these fees so that we can maintain them in the community and keep them looking charming and cute. So that's important. Of course, also there is a homeowners association that you have to pay the monthly fees for the homeowners association. So it's not super steep though, but it's important to keep the neighborhood, keep the charm and keep it looking great. If you are thinking about making the move to Orlando or moving within Orlando into Baldwin Park or anywhere in Orlando or the greater Orlando, Central Florida area, feel free to go ahead and download our relocation guide. We created an awesome resource for you that has lots of details about Orlando that you might find important in order to make a good decision about moving here. If you have any other questions about moving to Orlando or Baldwin Park, I would love to chat with you. So go ahead and reach out anytime, give me a call, text, email, and I look forward to speaking with you. Thanks for joining me today on my tour of the good and bad of Baldwin Park.